All right. So, good evening. As you can see, this is our part of a sub topic under the general topic that we are doing the last time on network types and all design. And as you all can see, that we have gone far. When I mean far, we have gone at least to an extent where we are laying the foundation brick by brick, and then we certainly hope that we'll be able to get where we are looking for. So this topic is a kind of foundation, as I said. So you have time to still explore some other resources, which I'll still be opening up with time. So the foundation, if properly done, network is one of the foundation we are trying to set in. So we have to know network as cybersecurity personnel. You have to go to work with network. We have to use network in our day to day. And mostly what you'll be working with, systems where you work with them, those systems are probably connected to a work network. And also the last time, we are trying to see how network architecture is drawn, how network architecture is the diagram of a network architecture, how it's actually designed, the components that we are involved. That's after our test on that day. So today we want to talk about a special device which all of you know about. I guess that we have gotten accustomed to this device even by name or what it does, whichever case it might be, is a home router. So the home router is a major device that helps our local network to communicate to the internet or connects our local network to the internet. So it helps in the transmission of messages coming from the internet to our local network, from our local network to the internet. It helps to also shield us against kind of uh, threats that might be coming if properly all the devices that are needed, like the security appliances, like firewall, working alongside the home router, is going to improve our security with regards to the devices we are using on our home host network. I don't know how many of you probably have a router. How many of you probably have a router? My battery is going down. How many of you actually have a router? Am I speaking to people? Am I just speaking alone? Are you all hearing me? Are you seeing my screen?
We
Yes, sir.
I'm asking if there's
can
anyone of
hear you, sir.
has a router, maybe from your internet service provider.
No, we don't. I don't have.
Okay, all right. So I guess nobody have a router. So very invariably, you don't know how a router looks like. Okay. Whichever case might be, I'll do a kind of simulation with a packet tracer to simulate to show you a physical, or sorry, a simulated means something that's supposed to be physical, but yet is kind of showing you what it will look like when you see it in a physical form. So more like the same way I tell you, taking things to be on a virtual scale. All right, so SpectraNet. All right. So whichever case, a router was given to you, so by your ISPs to help to provide networks to your local internet connection to your local devices. If you have a router, sometimes it can be wireless, sometimes it can be both wired and wireless. So the wireless gives access to the devices that doesn't use a wired. Sorry, the wireless gives access to the device that don't use a wired connection, while the wired aspect of the router gives access to the devices that uses only wired network or perhaps uses both. So the home router is very, very important for us to be able to connect to the internet. The home router is essential, especially for small office and home office type of network connections. So whereby our office and our home network have access to the what, internet. And when I talk about the home router, I just want to talk about three important functions or three things or three components that come with this home router. First of all, we have the internet ports. The internet port is the one where you connect all your devices, such as your printer, your laptop, whatever device that uses cable form. So that places you plug them in is referred to as the internet port. So those devices that you want to connect for them to have internet connectivity, those places you plug it into the router for you to provide you with those kind of services, those internet access, those devices that you connect, be it your laptop, your desktop, and printer, and some other devices. They are connected on the Ethernet port. Ethernet port helps to give your devices the local form of connection to the what internet. Your local network is connected to the internet. So we have the internet ports. This one gives the router the ability to connect to the modem, that's indirectly to the what internet. So the router uses the Ethernet port to connect your local devices, whereby it uses the internet port to connect to the what internet itself. Whereby while it connects your local network to your internet, Ethernet, sorry, which is your local network, it connects to the internet. So invariably it connects to network. The internet port is the access the router has to the what internet, and the Ethernet port is the access your router has to your local what devices. So then the third thing is the wireless access point. Those are the more of uh, the ability of the router to give access to your wireless devices. So if your network cannot be connected to the internet port, the router makes available what we call wireless access point for us to have what for you to have wireless what signals. So your mobile phone can connect, your Bluetooth can connect, what is it called? Other devices can connect to that type of what wireless or access point. So invariably, that's what does for us. And as I said, if you have any concerns, raise up your hand at any point. If you are with me, can I get a thumbs up? If you have something I want us to address later, you can put it in the comment section. All right. Okay. So for those who have not had an opportunity of seeing what an eternal router, I just think I have a diagram that depicts one. This is a diagram that has information on what I'm talking about. So as you can see, this Ethernet port, this router has four Ethernet ports. That's your LAN local area network. So you can plug your any of your device that uses a wired connection in any of these places that is labeled Ethernet ports. Then this place that is labeled one is the one that connects directly to the internet. That means from here, a wire is connected to your modem or is connected to the that will give this router ability to what get internet access for all the local devices that will be connected to the Ethernet port. So if you have any device that you want, your laptop, your desktop, it should be connected here. I've already told you all about medium, which are the wires, network media, which are the wires that will help you to do this connection. So you plug in one end of the wire here and plug in the other end of the wire in your device. Why when we come to the internet port, remember this goes to the internet, whether your or internet service provider gives you a modem, then from here you connect directly to the what? To the provision made by your internet service provider. But at times, this internet what is it called port, sometimes we come some routers we just have to give you a SIM, that's a service identification module. Yes, they will give you a they give you a SIM to actually replace the thing here, the internet port. So I will now know that the question you'll be asking, where is the wireless? You see these antennas here. I see these long antennas. These are the one that gives you wireless access. These long antennas give you wireless access. This is what makes it. So they receive radio waves. At times you have to turn it to the left, turn it to the right, or something of that nature. How we normally do our radios and television posts those days. But now the things are more enhanced. We now have masks everywhere. So this thing gives your devices wireless access. These antennas, these are the wireless access points thing to showcase there is a wireless access transmission going on. Are we on the same page on this router image I just showed you? Okay, thank you. So as you can see, there is a power button here. This is to on and off the router. There is a charging port for you to charge the router, as you can see here. And then we have the reset in case your router is misbehaving. So this is just an instance of what a router looks like. Okay, I think we'll be doing network media. I will show you those kind of cables that will be plugged into here to connect to your devices. Okay, so let's move forward. So how do we be able to set up this router? That is our concern. How do you need to set up this router? There are three things or four things that are considerably important while you are trying to set up your router. First of all is the network mode. The network mode actually defines the standard your router is following. I've taught here in past classes about what standards are. Standards are more like guidelines. They are more of things that organizations, especially non-profit, come together and say that every device that will be produced for network connection or wireless kind of network will obey these certain what rules. So any person that is a manufacturer, when they are producing their devices, they will be able to abide by what standard. So one of those standard is 802.111 by I think that IEEE. So they have a standard with regards to wireless network connectivity of router. That's wireless network connectivity for routers. So that 8.20.11 is a mode. And we have different kind of standard. We have 802.11.a, sorry, A, that's 11A. We have 802.11B. So, but this is not up to you to know these kind of things though. But why I'm just saying it is to explain more about network mode. So if assuming somebody produced a kind of device and those devices are probably using standard of 802.11A, that is invariably going to tell you that you will set your network mode to 11A, since most of the devices that will be connecting to your network is using the standard of what 11A. So the router gives you the ability to change the mode depending on the devices that will be connecting what to your router. So if the devices that are connected to your routers are more of 2.5, using 2.5 gigahertz, eh, that will be under frequencies, are we? So there are so standards that you put in place. So those standards that those devices that want to connect to you will be using. The only thing you have to do is to, when you are choosing the network mode, you now go and select that particular network mode during your setup, so that those devices, when they connect, they can be able to communicate on the network. If you choose a standard that is contrary or doesn't have a way to accommodate those devices that are using other standards, so invariably the communication link is already broken. So network mode is kind of, we are satisfying or choosing the standard whereby other devices on a particular network spot can communicate. So the another thing is the network name, SSID. Please, anything that I used an acronym, do well to find out the full meaning. SSID, Service Set Identifier, that's the full meaning. Uh, so that's to identify a particular network. So I just want to bring down this thing to all of what you are used to. If you are with me, are you guys still with me? You are with your phone, right? I want you to go to your network settings. Let me clarify or showcase you the things I'm trying to talk about. Though this is not router, but I will still show you how to do this. But let me just bring it down to what you're already used to. Go to your settings in your phone. I don't know the phone all of you are using, but go to your settings. You'll probably see a play that says something on network settings, or preferably hotspots, hotspots and tethering. That's hotspot and tethering, or when you click it, you are probably going to see your hotspot settings. Are you all with me, please? Am I talking alone? Are you seeing what I'm doing? I'm like what I say. Are you doing what I am saying? Sorry, not what I'm doing. I'm not doing it on my screen. So I said,
Yes.
are you were so when you go to your hotspot settings, are you seeing the place that is called name? Are you seeing the place that is called name of your hotspot? Are you guys seeing the play that is called the name of your hotspot? Most
Yes.
by default, most of you have it as your phone name. But please, I do urge you to change that if it's possible. Change it. All right. Change it is very, very necessary because once an attacker knows your devices, they can be able to browse or to inquire about vulnerabilities that are attached to your particular words device. So that name that you are seeing there is the same thing that we are talking about here, the network name, SSID. That is what you do. That's the name of your hotspot, that's the name of your wireless network. So the same way if you get a router, the router wireless settings, that is what we call network name SSID. So for somebody to locate and connect to your hotspot, they will have to see that name and click on it. So when you change that name, right, you also what in your router settings here is still the same name that is applicable there. Are you all with me?
Yes.
So as you can see, there is something that is called AP band. I don't know what is called on your own. AP band. Is that what is called on your own? We have the name, we have the password, we have the security, we have the AP band. Is that what is called on your own? Are you seeing the name on when you click on that hotspot set? After the name of your hotspot, we see the password, we see the security, AP band. All right. If that is showing on your phone, I don't know. It can also go by the name channel. Are you guys seeing what you are doing? Like what I'm saying, is it what is also in your own? So
Yes, my own is
okay,
just called
that
band.
yes, okay, your own is called band. That's beautiful. So that thing is channel. It's trying to tell us the what is it called? The frequency that the devices that are connecting to it is able to utilize. You know that it's not all devices that can be able to utilize 5.0 gigahertz. So we have two options, 2.4 gigahertz and 5.0. Since the wireless settings have between 2.4 gigahertz and 5.0 gigahertz, that's the alternative. Bluetooth normally uses 2.4. So there are devices that can't use 5.0. So if you have devices that can't use 5.0, of course, when you want them to connect, you are probably going to be using the 2.4 gigahertz. All right, that's the frequency. The channel outreach messages will go in and what come in. So you have to ascertain the devices that are connected to your network, ensure whether they can use this or that, so as to know the frequency that you what set. For your device, which is your mobile phone, it has just to choose between one of those. But when we go to the router, you can configure the two so that the two devices, which if a device is using 2.4, they can still connect to the network. If another device is using 5.0, they can still connect. But for your phone, you can only set for one. So that's it. If I want my internet, what is it called, to be faster on my laptop, what I will just do is I will change this frequency channel band to 5.0 because I know most devices are capable of using 2.4. That means to say there will be a lot of traffic on 2.4 gigahertz channel. So I will change it to 5.0 since most devices that use 5.0 are just few. So when I use 5.0, my laptop internet connection speed will be what? Faster. So that's on channel. As you can see it as one of the wireless settings. Then we have the SSID broadcast, though you cannot do this one on your phone, but SSID broadcast simply gives you the ability to make other devices see your wireless network. So if you put it on, other devices are what? Are going to what? See your what? Other devices are going to see your network. But if you put it off, other devices have to enter, have to know the username, that's the SSID and the password for them to connect. But if you put it on, they will see your what name and click on it and then have to enter your password if you set any password on it to what connect. So these are the major settings of the wireless router for you to give connectivity to wireless what devices. So are we on the same page? If we are, can I get a thumbs up? All right, thank you very much. So you can see I already put the full meaning of SSID on the slide, service set identifier, trying to tell us the service. All right, no problem. It seems everybody is okay with this, so let's move on. So this is what I was trying to show, a diagram for something we might probably be doing. All right, this is a diagram. I don't know. Oh, okay. So this is a diagram. If you can see, this is the wireless settings. As you can see, this is the wireless settings. You can see the network mode I'm talking about. You have a drop down, legacy. You can see the network name, SSID. You name your network. You will see SSID broadcast, whether you enable it or disable it. If you enable it, that means anyone can see your network name and connect. If you disable it, that means they have to be able to add it on their own. You can see the standard channel I'm talking about, 1. You can select as much depending on the device's channels that they can watch utilize. Then that are the major four settings. Channel bandwidth, though we have talked about bandwidth before, is more of the capacity of what messages that can pass through a channel. That's how a message does megahertz or something like that. That's how many uh, load of data that can be is capable for a channel to carry through. So we have talked about bandwidth before, but these are the four settings that are essential. As you can see, we have for 2.4 gigahertz, we have for 5 gigahertz. That means to tell you that you can do a setup for both 2.4, 5 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz one. So, but on your phone, you just have the ability to just set up for one. All right, is that okay with us? Are we on the same page? All right, okay. Chisom, you can go on.
Okay, sorry, I don't know about. Sorry, good evening, everybody. Can I be
Good
heard?
evening. Is that?
I don't know about so, but can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't know about others, but for me, I think you should like show us as you are sharing your screen now. You should show us with your own laptop, like show us how to maybe the buttons to press and everything. How to write the name, as in real life something. The word of mouth is as if it's not entering my head. Sorry, that's all I have to say.
I do that. I'll do that. That's why I'm trying to. I just want to first of all do the theory aspect of it before we start doing this thing. Simulation is a simulation. I'll start showing you a true simulation of how we'll do that. We have a lab on that, a little bit of lab to showcase what I have just talked about. So, gift, gift.
Hello, good evening, sir. Sorry, sir, it
Uh,
was a mistake.
okay, good evening. Okay, it was a mistake. All right, let's proceed. Chisom, I heard what you said. I will do it. Let's just round up. I will show you. Like, but it's a simulation because we don't have hard equipment. I will do it as a simulation. I will open up these things and then show you how this diagram you are seeing here. You will also be seeing it when I'll be doing the router configuration. So you will see it. Is that okay? All right, thank you. So when you are trying to configure your router, as I said, you might not even be opportune to do these things. It might only be taken care of by your network engineers or network security personnel, something of that nature. That's depending on the role you are taking. But at times you might be the LA hire. They used to call it LA hire. So if you are an LA hire, you'll probably be the one that will do most of the organizational ground up setup. So where are you configuring your router? What do you ask yourself? First of all, there are three important questions. You ask, what should my network be called? What is the network name should be called? As I already told most of you to change your network name from your device name to a name that is quite different from what your device is. I know by default that is what it is. I already told you the implications of having things as what defaults. Rofiat, all right, you raised your hand.
Sorry, it's a mistake, please.
All right, so when you're able to know the network, just know that let it be something unrelated to you. Let it be something that is not personal. Let it just be something that is unique on its own way, please, because attackers use anything you present to attackers, it helps them to make researches. So if you use your brand name as your router name, they will of course search through things to learn more things about your brand and be able to discover things, as I said. So make it something that is simple, not too obvious, not common, and then avoid anything that can tell an information about you. That's where you'll be choosing your network name, which is SSID. Then consider what type of devices you want to connect. So that's now what I was saying about standards. So there are various standards, and every device are subject to standard. So when you know the type of device that you want to connect, it will help you to be able to choose the appropriate standard to set up your what router. So you will choose the appropriate standard. So there are devices that connect to 2.5 gigahertz only, for instance, and the standard of 8.11a might not have any provisions for, I'm just giving an instance, might not have certain provision for 2.4 gigahertz. It only have certain provision for devices that utilize 5 gigahertz as their frequency. So when you actually set 2.4, that's to tell these devices that use only 5.0 you cannot connect to the 2.4. So I'm just saying with regards to standard. So standard invariably helps to know the type of devices that you are probably considering when you'll be doing your what setup. So how to add new devices, then decide how you want to add new devices. How do you want devices to connect to that network? That will determine whether you will leave your SSID broadcast as broadcast, or you enable your SSID broadcast or you disable it. So if you want devices to be the ones that will actually know the name of your network and password before they connect, fine. If you decide that that is open, anybody can see the name of your network, connect to it. So far as they have the password, it's still what fine. That is what I'm talking about when you say how do new devices connect to this type of what this type of your wireless what router. Remember, the focus is on wireless router. Why is it wireless router? Because it is difficult for somebody to enter your organization and go and connect cable into your router and connect it to his PC. No, it's not possible. But it's only through the wireless network. Somebody can come to your organization and then get wireless access because they probably might not have access to the physical devices. So that's why we are focusing more on home router because those are the ones that probably we'll be talking about when we say wireless. So because once you're at your home on your wireless hotspot, sometimes even people outside can be able to see you, your network and connect to it. Unlike trying to come and bring a cable to your router and plug into it, that's not feasible most times. So that's why I'm saying take cognizance of these things, how to configure the key questions you have to ask yourself, which are important. What do you want my network to be called? What type of devices? That will help you to know the compatibility, to know the standard you'll be choosing when you'll be setting up. And lastly is how to add new devices to the what? To the network. How does it connect? Would they have to know your network name and password, or would they have to just see your network name broadcasted and then enter the password and just connect? Like how most of us have it on our work phones. Are you all with me on this? If so, can I get a thumbs up? If not, can I see or get a conscience? All right, no problem. Somebody, if you are probably going to be doing, somebody will sacrifice. I don't know. I'm just praying for light to come because I have a lot in stock for us to get accustomed to, and I don't want that my battery to be an issue. So setting up a home router, setting up a home router. So setting up a home router. I said first thing is to what? You know the internet port that I showed you guys. You know the internet port that I showed you guys. The internet port is where you plug in your what? Internet patch cable. So that will connect to all the devices you want them to come to your what? Local network. It will be connected there. So if you want to connect your desktop computer, you plug it to your Ethernet port. If you want to connect your laptop wired, I'm talking about wire connections, you plug it to your Ethernet cord. If you want to connect anything that has to do with wire cable, plug it to the Ethernet cord. Then connect your internet port. Internet now. From the router internet port, connect it to the modem or the provision that is made available to your by your service provider so as your router can connect your local network to your internet. Then check for working connection. When you plug in these cables, check that to see that there is a beaming light. It will show a green light showing that there is something has been connected and is working what perfectly. I'm talking about physically when you'll be seeing it. All right, you will see a green light. Yellow means something is quite wrong, a warning. So a green light means there is a connection that have been done. So I think the exercise we want to do now is how to configure basic things in the router using the packet tracer simulation. So can we go ahead or do we still have concerns? You can bring them up. Are we on the same page? Did you all hear what I said? I said, can we move forward? This thing I just thought now, this little thing, I want us to simulate it. Let's see what it looks like. Are you guys on the same page with me? So if that's so, this is your own class activity. I'll leave it. Let me do my own exercise. So, so I will permit me to reshare my screen. Permit me to reshare my screen. Permit me to reshare my screen. Okay, so I'll be sharing. I'm not carrying what I wanted to share my screen on. All right, so just give me a few minutes. Let me. Uh, I'm still with you all. I'm still with you all. I just want to get something. So we'll be on the same page. So we want to do a simulation of just the router thing. Let me just show you all what it looks like. Oh God. All right. So uh okay. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
All right, I wanted to show you a simulation, what it looks like. You can see this is trying to replicate, this is trying to replicate an actual house. You can see, I don't know, you can see these things I'm trying to show. This is somebody's bedroom. There is a PC here, as we often see. Are you seeing their home wireless router? Are you seeing the cable modem I've been talking about? ISP normally gives you. Are you seeing the office PC? So everybody, this person have everything. Look at the laptop. Look at the television. He has a smart television as well. So he wants it to be connected. Are you all with me? So these things, you are finished buying them. You are done with purchasing them. You bought a home wireless router, bought a cable modem by your internet service provider, bought an office PC, bought a laptops, TV, and every other thing, right? So look at the internet, look at your ISP provisions. They have already given you a way. Maybe they drew cable from their station to your house. There are some offices that are like that. They give them specified line. They will draw cable from the internet service provider office to the organization. So this is where something of that nature. We bought a special landline. So it has given us ability to what? Do the connection. Let's assume you are a network person and you are told to what? You are told to connect all these devices so that they will start working. As you can see, all the instructions that we need to work with are here. So can we go on? Can we go on with the connection? If you can probably see my screen. So I'll be reading everything and then doing everything that they say we should do at each point. Chisom, are you with us? Chisom, this is what you wanted, right? Chisom, Vivian. All right, okay. So let's go ahead. So he said we should pass one. Then we connect the wireless router and then configure IP addressing. Though I've not taught you IP addressing, but IP addressing is more like the unique identification for every device, unique number given to identify every device that has to communicate or be part of a network. So to identify them, I think I've said something about what is it called? To identify a device is more like there is no device that doesn't come on board that won't have a unique identifier. So as to know who we are referring to while we are on a network. So that's what IP addressing does for us. So they are called internet protocol address to tell us where a device or the unique name of a device. So as you can see, our friend networking, she asked you to come over and help her connect her new home to the cable TV network. That is to say, we are connecting our smart TV the same way you buy a decoder and you connect it and you start getting what? Live streams. That's what we'll be doing today. You need to connect the correct cables to the correct devices, connect devices to a home wireless router, and configure the router to provide IP addresses to network devices. Chisom also wants you to set up a wireless LAN for her home network. So you will configure that as well. You are confident that it will be an easy process and a network setup in no time. The work area shows the interior of your friend's house. Oh, Chisom has a nice house, as you can see. Okay, scroll the window to get a sense of the layout of the house. As you can see, these are what you. So she just needs somebody that has a knowledge, a basic knowledge, as we all are getting, to just do the connection and get it started. No, our primary focus is on the router, but meanwhile, the router doesn't function alone. You have to connect the router internet port so devices can receive internet connection. Connect the router internet port to the modem, cable modem, and then provide wireless access to devices that don't have wired form of what connection. So those are the three things or provisions the wireless router does for us. Are you all still with me? Can I get a thumbs up before we continue? Can I get a thumbs up? Every instruction we need, you can see our completion rate. Our completion rate is still at what? 0%, as you can see. So let's see how far my battery is already 24. I don't know who will be helping us with so because you have other classes I want us to, so one other topic I want us to tackle on. So somebody should please get their this thing ready. So what he said, all right, he said in network components, we should click connections. So we want to get the network media that we have been talking about, the wires, and look at where they are located. He's setting. All right, so this is the wire. They told us the exact one to pick up. They said we should use coaxial cable. This is coaxial cable. We should click the cable splitter and select the coaxial one port. So we have selected the wire we want to connect. Look at the cable splitter. They said we should put it and select coaxial one. We have put it there. So you see the wire have come out. So we have plugged in the wire to the cable splitter. Click the cable modem. So we should connect both the cable splitter and the cable modem. Look at the cable modem. They said we should select what? Port 0. So we have connected this. Are you all with me? This is a step-by-step instruction. All right. Bola, I'm seeing your hand. Abby Harmony, I'm seeing your hands.
Thank you, sir. Please, your screen was not showing, so I could not get you when you started explaining about it.
You said?
I
Hello?
said it's harmony. I said your screen was not showing, so when you started, I could not get it. I was not following.
My screen was not showing.
When you were with the instruction, because you said our completion it was at
Yeah.
0. That was where I lost you. I could not get you again after that.
All right, so, okay, there's no problem. Bola, what's the issue?
Okay, so good evening, sir. I have a question.
Hello?
Like, so you said you use coaxial cable. So I wanted to know why they are not using any of the cables. Because thinking of cables, I know there is fiber optic cable and what other cable now? There's the normal cable that you use. So why are they not using the normal cable instead? Why are they using the coaxial cable instead of the normal cable? I don't know if you get my question.
All right. From one device to the other, there are different types of cable for it. Because you are connecting the cable modem to the cable splitter, we are using the coaxial cable. But when we go to the connecting the cable modem to the router, there is a different kind of cable. Connecting the router to other devices, there is different kind of cable. Because cables are in types to enable communication between devices to be better improved. So if you use a wrong cable to run a connection, one other device might not be able to what work with the other device. But all these cable things is majorly the core functions of people that are into network engineering. Sorry, I know that you lost me. So I'm just trying to show you guys like what I was talking about. Sometimes you are probably going to be seeing these kind of things on a physical office. So I'm just trying to show you what it looks like. So the cable that we are using is because we are trying to connect the cable modem to the cable splitter, which is a different kind of connection that will be enabled for communication to happen between the cable modem and the cable splitter, that's the internet service provider. Majorly, you don't even, we are not meant to be doing this, like this cable modem, and invariably most internet service provider takes care of everything from the point of internet to the point of router. So you don't even have to bother yourself with this kind of connection we are doing. That's most ISPs. So they just give you a router, and then with that router, you have access to it. You don't now start connecting to cable modem on this. But maybe in this case of this person, they have the money to lease a special line from the internet service provider. Of course, they will give them a cable modem for them to do the work. Wherever the connection stops, they will take it off from there. The same way as many of you that will buy a television, they will give you an antenna, right? That antenna, when you put it on, you start searching for satellite this thing of the TV station. Once you get it, the cable that you run from the antenna to your decoder, you are the one that will do it. And that is what we just did now. More like the cable we are going to run from the antenna, our ISP provided us with, to our cable modem. That is why. So many of you use decoder. The same thing that is applicable is what we are trying to what, do here. I don't know if that answers your question, Bola.
Yes, I thank you, sir.
All right, I know that most of you are into networking, so you are probably one these cable types or this thing. I understand, but meanwhile, I told you I will still open up mind. But meanwhile, let's lay the foundation first. So as I'm saying, we have connected the cable splitter to the cable modem, and our completion rates have gone to 10% because we have done what is expected of us. Another thing they told us to do is what? They said we should repeat the previous step, connect coaxial 2 to port 0 on the TV. Now you want our TV to start getting service. The same way you connect your antenna to your decoder and then you start seeing various channels. That is what we want to be doing here. And we will choose the coaxial cable, then put it at this coaxial 2 and put it to the what? Television port 0. And let's see what happens. So they say we can now on our TV. Are you seeing our TV is off? We'll now on it. Are we seeing the streaming? It have gotten what? Streaming service. That means our TV is connected. Are you all with me? Are you all with me? Do you see that the TV that we just connected started getting streaming? Are you all seeing the TV itself? That's even where my concern is. All right. All right. Okay. So if that's the case, we are done with that. Our completion rate has gone to 21%. So there are two PCs in this person's house. We don't have wireless LAN adapters. So they will be connected with the internet cables. For Ballard, I was asking, there are various types of cable depending on the devices. So now we want to connect the Ethernet cables. We want to connect the Ethernet cables. So what does it say we should do? We should click on connection. We should use the copper straight through cable. This is the copper straight through. It looks like it's a click on the port on the cable modem. We want to get to the cable modem. Look at it here. We should click on it. We want to connect it to our router. Then connect to our what? Router on the internet port. Look at that internet port I was talking to you all about. The internet port, it connects from the cable modem, you connect it to the internet because that's where the router gets internet access. This other remaining ports is for wired devices on your local network. These ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, as I shown you on the router image. So this one is where we'll connect it because we are connecting the wireless router to the cable modem. Then connect port 1 on the cable modem. We have already done that. Click the Office PC and connect the cable to the fast internet. We will use the same cable. Where is the Office PC? This one. We should click fast internet and connect it to the what? We connect it to the router gigabyte. That's the LAN port 1 I'm talking about. Look at it. You have connected it. Then what else? Repeat the previous steps to connect the bedroom PC. So we should connect the bedroom PC. Where's the bedroom PC? This is the wired form of this thing that we are now connected to. Look at it. We'll click here. Fast internet. I'm just following instructions they are giving me on how to do this. And then connect it to the second LAN port, which is gigabyte internet what? 2. So the wired home network is now fully connected to the what? Internet. So can we now configure the wireless what? Router? Are you all with me? Are you all with me? Please let me not be sure that I've lost you. All right. If you can see in the diagram, there is an amber green sign. That is the LED light I was talking about that shows that connection has been done successfully. In your physical device, you will be seeing such light at the back of any device that you connect. That green arrows that you are seeing that are now green. Sometimes it will be yellow, amber color, or it will be red. Red means the connection is not even okay. It will turn to amber, meaning it has started ready for connection. Then to green means that the connection is working. So I don't know, my battery is the issue, 17%. All right, let's see how far we are going to go because other topics I wanted us to talk about is something someone else can help us to share why I do the talking. But this is a kind of a practical to showcase it. I want to do the configuration of the purity. I'll see your hands up.
Sorry, sir. Please, I wanted to ask a question.
All right, go ahead.
Sir, after the class, will you send us the packet tracer file?
Okay, if most of you, because why I was trying to do this is because if you can follow this instruction, you can do it on your own. But why I was doing this for those people that don't have PC, I think some people don't have PC among us, but yes, so I was considering them so that most practicals will do it and they see what we are doing. So if you know you have packet tracer on your system, I will send the file. There is nothing you can follow instructions. There, all the instructions are there as I'm following them and you can do it. It's okay if that's fine with you. I will send it for you.
Okay, sir, you send us the file.
Yeah, I'll send you the file.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay. All right. As you can see, it's just all right. Let's move forward. We want to now do that configuration I was talking about. So since we have connected these wires together, they are the things that help us to do this configuration. They say we should click on the Office PC. Are you guys seeing this Office PC? Please, somebody should talk to me from open there. Are you seeing this office PC I clicked now and it brought up physical configuration, desktop programming. Are you seeing the menu tabs, please? Hello? Hello? I'm asking a question.
Yes, I
Hello?
can. We can hear you, sir. We can hear you.
Right, are you sure? Hello?
Hello, sir. We can hear you. Sir,
Oh. But are you seeing what can you see this office PC that has physical configuration, desktop and programming?
yes.
Eh? Hello?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
Hello? Oh, so sorry.
Hello, sir.
Network was affecting me. So sorry on that. All right, you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Yes, sir, we can
Uh,
hear you now.
okay. I think this is the worst uh, thing that network has tried to do today. Oh, God. And my system is already running low. Uh, and I don't know how we are probably going to do this. Because I wanted to show everyone about this. Is there anyone on a system? Bola, are you on a system?
Yes, I'm on the system.
All right, I'll need to share
Yeah,
some
please share it
slides with.
with me to my mail.
Uh, okay,
Thank you, sir.
so
Sorry about your system.
okay. All right, so I'm still here, God. So I'm still here. I think I've sent something. All right, I'm still here. I've sent it to you, Bola. Um, Meanwhile, as I was saying, I was trying to show you guys just what I thought. That's the the diagram I presented to you. Though I don't think my sister will permit me to finish out on those things, all right? But I promise that I will finish up on this thing because I don't know if Bola can be able to follow up instruction, even if I send her the packet tracer file. So it will be more difficult so for me to do it. So I just wanted to show, just as Chisom requested, so to show you all what it looks like to do those setups. Why a network engineer will be doing them physical, at least you should have an idea. You should have an idea of what those things are. So Bola, you can you can share your screen for us to continue. As I promised, I'll still have to finish up this particular practical. We will stop and maybe we will start also from here the next time. I'll still share with those who have maybe they can do it, but it's a instruction based practical. Please, I hope that you will bear with me on this. I just needed to. All right. Thank you. So, Bola, you can share your screen. My system is already done. Hello, Bola. Are you still with me?
Sorry, sir. Yes, I'm with you. I'm trying to download the file. Don't be angry.
There is no problem. You are 16 now. Yeah.
So sorry.
What's
I'm
it
trying
called?
to download the file.
So at least we'll not have to cancel this thing just
Yeah, I'm on
because
it now.
the practical side of it didn't actually work. At least let's do something then. Let's start some of the classes we should have
You can
done.
let me know if you see my screen. Oh,
Okay, no problem.
can you see it?
So
Mr. Michael, can you see my screen?
yeah, I can see your screen. So
Okay.
as I was saying, that practical is just to show you how to do a kind of the network setup, then most especially how to configure the router. But meanwhile, even if it doesn't, it didn't work out due to my network, sorry, due to my device being down. At least let's do something we should be doing as of the next class. At least let's do it to some extent. So even if the classes elapses now or the time for it elapses, if we come the next time, then we'll use the remaining part of some time or half of the time. By then, I know I'll be much more prepared for anything. All right, I'll be using half of the classes for to complete the network communication, while I will use the other one to complete the practical we are trying to do. So that's it. All right, so please follow me through on network communication. So invariably, if we all know how these devices connect together, so if you know, just the same way I was showing us how we connected our TV, how we started connecting our systems to the wired ports or the local area network, then how we started to connect other things as well. So if we know how these things are being connected, trying to know how they are being set up, that's the router being set up. Then invariably we also want to talk about how these things communicate, how the communication take place, because it's not just enough for us to connect these networks together. It's not just enough for these networks to we know that they are in the same environment and they are trying to get together by the means of those network media, those cables that you are seeing me utilizing to connect them together. The first thing I really want to ask is this, is that how do they communicate? How do they understand each other? That's why we are talking about communication. And there is no other way that networks understand each other better without the means of what? Having guidelines, rules set in place for it to what happen. And that's why I say that communication protocols are the things that make networks or make devices connected to the network to be able to communicate together. Please, can you move to the slide? Let's talk about communication protocol. So what are these protocols? What are they? As you can see, these protocols, I said, they are kind of things that bring about orderliness. It brings about feasibility of a one device to send something and the other understand what they are sending. So I want to use a practical example of some person, more like if Deborah is trying to talk to me. Let's assume that I don't hear English and Deborah understands both English and French. If Deborah is communicating to me in French, of course, there is no way I would understand it. No matter how she tried, there is no way I will understand. But having come of the knowledge that Deborah chooses to go with English, both of us understand. That means there is a rule, there is something that is shaping or making communication possible between us. And that's also the same thing that happens in the online space or when we talk about network. There are things that make those things possible and they are what's called what protocols. And they rely on what? They rely on the method of communication. We have to choose which method do we prefer to communicate. This is on the real life instance now I'm saying. We will talk about what's the method of communication. Do you want to use phone? Do you want to do one-on-one? Do you want to do by letter? So we have already gotten so many methods of communication we can probably use connect. Then we talk about the language. If the language is not understandable by us who are trying to communicate, then invariably that communication will not hold. Then we now talk about how do we ensure that we are receiving the message as supposed to how we are meant to receive it. So invariably, if Deborah is talking to me and she's using more advanced language, English language, I am just conservant with basic ones. So there is a way she have to talk to me over and over again to ensure I'm understanding what she's saying. The same way as I'm trying to talk to you all now, at times I will ask you to give me a thumbs up to ensure that to address everything I wanted to relate with you. So that's also the same thing. Acknowledgement is one thing that is necessary when we communicate. So when we talk about which method are we using, when we talk about which language are we using, another final thing we often talk about is how are we going to confirm that we have received messages. So with a simple nod, if Deborah nods or if I have to nod to her messages or I have to repeat what she has said, that is more of we are trying to what communicate. And what makes this type of things marshal out these types of things that are essential is what we call protocol. They define the rules, they define the things that have to be for communication to what take place. So that is on a simplest context. Are you with me? Or if you are with me, can I get a thumbs up? If not, can I see your hands raised up so that we can address any concern? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. This means a lot to me. Then can we move forward, Bola? Can you slide your screen? Are you with us? Hello,
So
Bola.
I've moved it to. Can you not see it?
You said?
I've moved my screen.
Are you guys seeing her screen?
Yeah, it's moving.
I've moved it, sir.
So
Why do
it's
we
only
need
from
net?
my end that I'm not. Huh?
I said I've moved it, sir. I think it's your network.
Okay, I think my network is the issue. Oh, what are we going to do after I run away from this one? That's cut up.
Try rejoining the meeting again, sir. Yeah.
Oh, I can't still see your screen. Maybe you have to present them while I use what is it called? I use my own this thing. I hope that works. So far they can see your screen is okay, right?
Sir, you can't see my screen yet.
Is that?
Hello, sir. Can you still see my screen or you can't see it?
No, I'm not still seeing it. So I'll just probably use from my local device while you project for them
Okay.
so they see why I talk.
Oh, so sorry about
Okay,
that,
so
sir.
okay, I can now see your screen. All right, so
Then, if we have talked about those things and you are able to acknowledge that that is also flowing, you have already know what protocols are necessary for communications to happen. Why do we need this? Why do we need them? So let's know the purpose of why we need them. Even even though I know that we have invariably talked about it, so we'll say this for us to ensure that our communication is smooth and error-free. These are things possibly I know that something you can just easily read up on your end and see that everything just go. But I'll just do an overall uh, thing on it so that you know. But those things are just well explained. So invariably, if one device is saying something else, just imagine everyone producing a device, or Chisom produces our own device, Praise produces our own device. How do we know that these devices can communicate since it was produced by different manufacturers? How do these devices have to communicate? So somebody produced a speaker and named it Bolid. Then your phone is Tekno and was produced by another manufacturer. So now you are trying to connect your Bluetooth to that speaker. How do they connect? Because these are two different people who we are on different ages of life and produce this kind of devices. So that is to tell you the essential of why protocol is needed. Because that protocol will set the right things in place for those two devices to be able to communicate. So it will tell the Bluetooth, see, anytime you are being on, you know that you belong to the 2.4 gigahertz channel frequency band. So every device is that is able to tune into your frequency band by your name, accept it and connect. So those rules that we are set in place to make it feasible for those devices to connect. And the things we talk about protocol. Without protocols, networks would be a kind of messed up because you would probably send something to some. Just imagine you writing a letter and then there is no address in that letter. So protocols are the things that put those things in place, tells us the kind of way these messages can be the kind of ways these messages can reach out to the people that is concerned, who have to notify the people that is concerned, the protocol do for us. So the benefits are way, way more than we can even itemize, as I have just tried to do so using the item list that you can see there. So for us to be able to get a hands-on for our networks and devices for them to communicate online, we need to talk about protocols. Protocols set the rules, it sets the guideline, it puts everything in place. I don't. Hello, can you all hear me? I said, is there any concerns? Are we all good to go?
Hello, sir. We can't hear you.
Hello? Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, finally. So sorry. I don't even know what is happening to because I'm using 4G light. I don't even know what's happening. Suzanne, what's her name? You're raising up your hand. And I hope all is well. Hello? Are we still on?
I can hear you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. So, as I was saying, I was trying to explain why do we need network protocols, and I was saying something with regards to that for things to work properly, for us to be in this kind of uh, meeting, for me to say something and you hear it, and for Bola to respond that I know that it's coming from Bola's microphone, or it's coming from Bola identity based on what she wants. For these things to be possible, for the interlocking and every other thing, is because there are network protocol, there are rules in place. If there are no rules, if there are people who exist without rules, then invariably what will happen? Where there is no rule, everybody does whatever they feel like is right. So in the same way, where when we don't have network protocols, messages get to people that don't need them. Messages are gotten or taken hold of by people or cyber actors or cyber threats, cyber criminals. So what these protocols do for us is to ensure that what to ensure the way that messages are formatted so that properly devices can handle the amount of messages that come to it per time and be able to what treat it as it what comes. So those things are what network protocols help us towards achieve. So most importantly, look at it this way that network protocols helps us to set the format messages we take. It helps us to set the format messages we take. Network protocol helps us to set the format that messages we take. Helps us to determine the size that messages will take per time. So you can't just send all something like 5,000 messages at a time and want a particular device. It will restrict the amount of messages a device is meant to receive per time. It will also put on the timing. How long do we expect for these messages to reach? I've already taught something on encoding. It will also more like what is it called? Put this message in a what's it called? Put it in a way whereby that particular device can be able to receive it and then what? And then return it to the actual format it can understand. So encoding is more like I put message in a some way in another method by which it can flow through the wire. So when it gets to that device, it have to what unwrap that kind of what thing or bring it back to a particular way so that it will understand. So I did it that way so that the thing can be able to flow through the channel I was sending it through. So when it gets to the device, there have to be a decoding to revamp what I already did so as that message to get to that device. Then lastly is the encapsulation, whereby we can put so many things into one. More like I can put a message or a file into a folder and send that folder across. And when the person have to what open the folder before they would see the file. So these are the things network protocols help us to do. Help us to do the timing it will take for the message to reach. Help us with the message formats, help us with the timing and encapsulation and all those things. So network protocols are very, very what essential. Are you all with me? If you are with me, can I get a thumbs up? If not, can I get your hands raised out to express your concern? All right, thank you very much. Bola, can you move down the slide? If not for this network, we should have gone a long way. I'm so sorry. So I was trying to use this diagram to depict what an actual way of trying to set in place uh, protocols that make communications to happen, giving an analogy of what your normal use day-to-day way of sending messages looks like, and comparing it with what an actual network looks like. So one thing that is evident here from our slide, you can see that if you want to send, if we are using a traditional way of sending message, you will now try to write the name of the person, write the address of the person. So the name of the person is helps to get to the actual person you want to send the message to, so that you know the address of a person without writing their names. Doesn't mean that message actually gets to them. No. So the name and the address is the only ideal way. So it's a protocol stated in place. The same way when you come to an actual network, if you just write only the destination IP address, as I said, IP address, without writing the MAC address of a device, you probably won't be able to get to that device. So both the MAC address and the IP address is essential for you to get to that device. So invariably, the MAC address functions on the local network settings, while the IP address function on the internet outside of internet space. So in the sense a device wants to communicate to you on the internet, they have to know your what? They have to know your IP address. So IP address tells them where you are located on in the network, while the MAC address tells them who the device is actually is, who the device is on the who the device. So more like the same way of trying to say you are living in your home, you have an address, and you're not the only one living in your home. So if I send a letter to you that have only the address, once the postman office person comes to your house, he will knock, and anybody that opens that door, he will give the person the letter. Meanwhile, the letter was not meant for the person. But when I'm able to put on a name on it, once the postman person comes to that place, he will knock, even no matter who opens the door, he will say, please, I'm looking for Chisholm, I'm looking for Bola. Hand this, then you would not be like, where is Bola? You will now call Bola and you said, oh, this is a letter from so and so person. So that is an analogy I was trying to relate to you when I'm talking about what protocols helps us to do. As you can see, this letter by the left is your normal letter. We have an envelope. We have an encapsulated letter. That is to tell you the thing I was trying to explain on encapsulation. Protocols put in place, how messages can be encapsulated. So you can see a letter is put into an envelope. That's encapsulation. So why the envelope is the thing that is transported, the ideal message is inside the envelope. So even if somebody have to open up the envelope for them to read the content of the letter, the same thing also happens in what? In network communication. There is a way things are put inside another so that when it gets to a one device, they just have to unveil the thing and see the actual message. So I was just trying to give an analogy of what it looks like in a day-to-day letter that we try to send in a traditional way and what it looks like in a what network. As you can see in this network, we have the source IP, we have the destination IP. In the letter, we have the sender's name and address, and we have the receiver's name and address. As you can see, we have the payload. Payload simply means the actual data. Other things that you are seeing there, though you are not a network person, but I'm just trying to show you what it looks like. The same way these letter things we are grouped so as to it to get to the actual person. We can see the content of the letter, we can see the sender, we can see the everything. Is the same way that a ideal message is being organized, and it is protocols that make these things able to work this way. That's the analogy I wanted to draw from these scenarios. Are you all with me? If you are with me, can I get a thumbs up? If not, please ensure that you raise up your hand. Even if it means going back, we are not in a rush. There is nothing like we are not in a rush. Even if network affects me, I will still come back and re-explain what I was trying to explain. So if you are not with us, please do well to signify that you are not with us. If you are with us, give us a thumbs up so that we'll keep on going forward. So don't feel anyhow asking, even if it's a lame question, don't feel anyhow. It is necessary for us to learn this and capture it. So if that's so, can we move forward to the next slide, please? All right. So, all right. So, beforehand, when I was talking about network mode, when we are trying to set up our router, I made mention of what? I made mention of standards. So, I made mention of standard. So, invariably, I know the questions. What is it called? Question you will now ask: what's the difference between communication protocols and communication standards? As I said, what is it called? Protocols, standards make what is it called? Protocols is more of what we are saying, a set of rules that tells us or helps us to be able to guidelines that tells us how things should be done or this thing. But when we now talk about standards, we are talking about things that are expected, is a must expectations for things to work. So in the sense that you see most of the protocols that we see, we are adopted to be as standard. That means it must be done. So standard is when we bring it to the point, when we bring these rules that makes things happen to the point whereby everybody must abide by it. I don't know whether you got that. So it's not every a protocol is how things are meant to what function. So, but when we now make it a must, it's invariably trying to bring to light that this is a standard to be adopted. This is something that everybody that wants to be able to communicate a network have to do. So invariably, you can say there are many protocols that are not really being adopted as our standards. Are you all with me on this? What's that? Bola, can you go back to that slide on what's it called on protocol? Let me, because I know this can be a little bit tricky. No, it's not why we need protocols. Is that it? Is that why we need protocols? Go up. What are communication protocol? How devices talk to each other, like human conversation protocol decide the method of, so in the sense of you have gotten what protocols, the rules or agreements are. So if these rules now become a thing of a must do, so there can be something that somebody can tell you, all right. There are some things, rules, and agreements that invariably two companies can come together and say, all right, since we are into a negotiation, can we be able to bring out something, some kind of way for our device to talk? So those are between those things. There are protocols existing. So for those devices to be able to talk. So, but there are ones that have exceeded more than what you expected. For every communication that have to happen in the internet, there are organizations that are set in place a must do rule, and that's what I'm talking about when we say standards. That we are talking about, there is no way you shall go below this thing when you are doing any form of protocols. So that is to say that most protocols can be adopted from what standards. So most protocols are adopted from what standards. They are necessary. They are compulsory. That doesn't mean that so other protocols cannot also be of standard. There might be something that organization had to put in place for their systems to communicate among themselves. Invariably, they might not be what standards. So rules that are a must do for people to follow in order to actualize something is what I'm talking about when I say what standards. They have come to be a benchmark. They have come to be something that is what obtainable. The same way I'm just saying something on set your minimum password to be 8. So you can choose to do it 20. It doesn't matter. So far there is a standard that says let this thing be this. So for everything that is coming on board, they have to be what able to abide by this what communication what standards. So why means of these things, these standards are brought together so that no matter what devices that are produced or no matter every device that is coming on board for communication to happen, since they have already abide by this standard, that is to say that this communication will invariably take place because everybody is meeting up to what expectation. So when we bring something to call it a standard, that is means it must be a must do. It is a must do thing. Nobody is going to run away from that. Is that clear? Can you go back to the slide? Um, can you go back to the slide on standards? Is that clear, please? Are you confused? Are we on the same page? It's just it seems like most of us just on our mic and they are listening to stories. Am I telling stories? Are we okay? Are we good to go? Is there any challenge? I can still go back. Is it about the practical? I told you I will still repeat it. Anything you want to do for you to be able to get everything, like let everything that you see on this slide be something that whenever you go back to it, the knowledge will remain fresh. That's the essence of what we are trying to do. We are trying to break everything down. So if you are confused at any point, please raise up your hand. It's essential. I will re-explain everything as I said. Are you all with me on this? All right. So as I said, I've already told you standards are the must do. And for every word standard simply means that there are various kind of person that we want for them to be able to do those things to enable the work that we are doing when we are talking about network, how devices have to communicate with what each other. So for every person that is a manufacturer, when they come on board and they want their devices they produce to communicate on the internet or to communicate on the network, they have to be able to what, adopt to what, this standard. So standards come into place to validate rules and agreement. So we can have so many protocols and then they are brought in as standards so that everybody will abide by it. Because if they are just there, somebody can choose to, but when they are brought in to become standards, then we know that everyone is abiding by it, and then makes communication easier and makes communication what, communication to come off well, and there will not be issues when one device is trying to connect to the other on the what, internet. Are you with me on this? If so, can I get a thumbs up? Then Bola, you can move the slide. It looks like it's just one person on the call. I'll start calling them. I'll start asking questions. All right. So for these standards to come to be, for these standards to come to be, there is something you have to know. The things that you have to know is that there are people that are looking out for it. You can't just. There is no way rules exist in without a governor. Nobody governing those rules. There are people governing those rules, and those are called network standards organizations. They are a group of, maybe let's call them volunteers, people that took it up to themselves to see to the way forward of internet connectivity, to see to the way forward of network connections, communications on networks. So those are the people that took it upon themselves. So those are what we call network standard organization. So for each device that is produced, for each device that is produced. So these network organizations will look at the device, ensure that they are meeting up to the set standard. So if they say that, see, your device have to have so and so and so and so, and your device doesn't have it, that means it will not be able to what, to follow through. They will not certify that this device can be able to be used on the what, on a network. So they will not certify you. They will not guarantee you any form of thing. So this organization do a whole lot of work. Even when we come to manufacturers, some of them give certifications. They validate organizations that are following this standard, and then put down organizations that are their devices are not following. So they put them away. They cannot be able to do something pertaining to when we come to network communication. So you see, they do a whole lot of work to ensure that this thing is working for us all. So that is what network standard organizations do. So they help to monitor that the must do thing would be what's done by every person that is looking forward to having network communication set up or having to produce devices for network or communication. So who are those organizations? There are some of them. We have IEEE, that is Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. We have INA, Internet Assigned Numbers Authority. We have IETF, Internet Engineering Task Force. I know all of them have their roles they play, certain roles they play. If you need more, I'm not doing this because of, I know the things that are essential for you at this point. You might not really be needing this, but network engineers might be really be the ones needing this. But we are passing through the phase. That's how you just have to know it. So we have ICANN, Internet Corporation for Assigned Numbers and Numbers, Assigned Names and Numbers. These are invariably those that give IP addressing. Mostly they give IP addressing. We have ITU, we have TIA. So those are the organizations that some of them that have to do with maintaining the must do of people or devices or things that are probably ensuring network what communication. And there's one thing I want to point out is this: for the things that has to do with the internet, you know that internet is just a part of a network, is the largest form of network. So we have other things for things pertaining to the internet, for communication to happen in a global scale, because internet is a network of networks. So there is what we call ROFC, request for comments. So what this thing does is every standard that is developed by any of these organizations, it is documented in the request for comment. So these are where you get documentaries of every development pertaining to standards developed. So just in case, if you happen to be a manufacturer or your company is trying to use a kind of device or every other thing, maybe you want to know what is applicable for these devices to run on the internet, what must they have, what are the recommended things. So maybe you want to know much about setting up a network. There are standards that would ensure or guide you of the things you have to put in place for your devices to communicate on the internet scale. Or yes, those documents pertaining to every form of standard that I've released is stored in the request for comments. Are you all with me on this? Precious, you are raising up your hand. Precious, are you all with me on this? Precious, you're raising up your hand. Is your name really Precious or Precious? I don't know. I don't know the pronunciation of that. Can you help me with that? I'm talking about Ngabrire. I don't know whether that's your. No. All right, you can move forward. I don't know why she's not talking. You can move forward. Bola, you can move forward. So I think we'll do this network communication models because this is an important topic. I want everyone, I think most of them, they're not able to do so. We'll do these network communication models, round up with this on the next class. This is our next class lecture we are doing now due to we aren't able to fulfill the practical. So once we get to the next class by which day is that? On Thursday, we'll complete that practical we are trying to do. We use maybe 45 minutes or so, complete it up. Then we'll finish up this side. I don't know if you have any questions so far. You can talk about it. It's already time, so I don't keep you longer than this. Most of you that have what you are doing works and every other thing. Is there any question? I can attend to it. Is there any question so far from what we are trying to do? I know that it has been a there has been a disturbing one from the network, but I hope. Is there any question?
Hello,
Is
sir.
there any question?
Good evening, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can
I
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you.
Okay. What I wanted to ask was about the practical. The practical. Should we have
Yes.
PC? Should we have PC? Like, must it be a computer?
Is it for well you
The one
well
we're going to.
every see every practical all right, every practical we'll be doing it together. I will share my screen and we'll do it together. Are you with me?
Oh, yes, sir.
But every assessment I'll be giving to you all will be a one that whether those with laptop or those with phone can be able to do it. Did you get
Oh,
that? So every
okay.
assessment you use to build your portfolio will be what will enable both those will be favorable for those that have phone and those that have laptop. But every practical that requires laptop, I will be able to do it with you, or I will share my screen like how I was doing today. Then even
Mm,
for those that have laptop that want to go and do it on their own after the class, they are free to. But the one that will require you to have a portfolio or to be able to do any form of submission would be the one that will enable both those that have phone and those that have system to work on it. Like just the ones I've been giving you. If you have done research, if you have done security audit, I mean those are the two assessments so far. All right. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, you did. Thank you, sir.
All right. So is there any other thing? Is there any challenge? Is there any concerns? Is there anything that you feel like we can talk about to improve on what we are already doing? You can bring them on now since I think that most of you don't have questions. All right, somebody's hands is up. You can talk. Ocon, you can talk. Hello, I can hear you.
Please, I
Hello?
my mine is wondering about. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello? You said?
Hello.
What what did you say, please? Come again.
Okay, I said mine is pertaining to the test. I need the test that was held last week and would really request for a makeup test as my device was down and I couldn't access that one.
Okay, you guys need a makeup test. You need a makeup test, right?
Yes, yes,
All
please.
right. All right. Is there any other person that need a makeup test? Please, if so, can we do it? What is it called? The first 10 minutes from the time we log in, you have the first 10 minutes for our classes to start for you to do the test. Is that okay? So if you log in by 6 p.m. WAT, that's West African time, then you have from that time we log in, I will share the test link. Then you can be able to start your test while we wait other people to join in on call. Then after 10 to maybe 10 to 15 minutes, depending, you should be done with the test. Then we start our classes. Is that okay for the makeup test?
Thank
That
you,
would be
sir.
fantastic. But please, may we know, is it the Thursday class? Because sometimes the classes do shift. So is it on
No, the
Saturday?
classes is the classes is the same now. And we have only classes on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So if you guys prefer the Thursday, then let it be on Thursday. If you prefer the Saturday, let it be on Saturday. So whichever one decided now. So then, of course, communicate to Peace. I think she's the one in charge. Communicate to her so that you can be able to. Which one do you people go with? Please do. They said Thursday, so I think Thursday will work. So our next class uh, uh, talk to Peace to make the announcement for those who missed the test so that they will do the makeup. We'll use the first, that means once it's 6 sharp, the link will be dropped. So please, if you have taken the test, don't take again. So your record has already been taken. So just those that missed the test. So when we join in on the call, we'll give them the benefit to also wait for other members to join in. So they will take the test for the 10 minutes. So it's just a quick one. It's something simple. You take it for some of you even finish before 5 minutes. Just 20 questions, OBJ, objective. I've already made mention of what it is. You are not writing anything, just to click. If you read, you click. So I hope that starts for all of you.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So who else? Who else is raising up their hands?
Sir, can you hear me? Can you
Yeah, I
hear
can
me?
hear you.
Okay, so
Yes, I
what
can hear you.
I wanted to ask was, since we are learning about networking, I don't know, me when I'm studying on my own, when I see things like IPv6 and IPv4, sometimes I don't really understand that concept. I don't know if we can learn it here.
Hello? I didn't get you, please. You said when you see IP before PVC, what happens, please?
I really do not understand it. I don't know if we are going to learn about IP addressing here.
Yeah. We are getting to that. I have it. I will teach you the foundation. It's one of the foundational things you have to know because you will probably be seeing IP addresses. You have to recognize what they are, and what they mean. So we'll be teaching it. We'll be teaching it. Maybe not that in depth, but I will touch on what it is when we talk about IP address, a network address, subnet mask, and then invariably default gateway. Of course, those are the major configurations. So we'll talk about it. We have not reached there yet. We are still coming.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
That answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
Huh?
My question is on the home router. Now, when you were showing us
Okay.
the operation, like how to connect the different cables, as the Ethernet cable to the internet cable and then the wireless, I want to know if these connections goes like simultaneously. There is these three cables, or it is either the Ethernet cable to the internet or the Ethernet cable to the wireless. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't know
Okay.
if these
Let me
three can
say
actually
something.
work at the same time.
The internet cable. I didn't get that. Come again, please.
When you were showing us how the home router works, you showed us where
Okay.
you connect the Ethernet cable. You connect it to the internet cable. That is the Ethernet cable used to connect to your
Okay.
local network. Then for you to reach the internet, you connect it to the internet cable, yeah, to the one. And then you talked about wireless. So I want to know if these things, like if we want to get a particular communication, we have to connect these three cables together at the same time, or it's just going to be Ethernet to internet or internet to wireless.
All right. Even though I'm trying to get in detail what you are saying, but what is it is that most times you will not see it that way. Most times your router will come with a same module that your ISP takes care of those kind of connection from the internet to the ISP that's giving you a cable modem. They will take care of that by providing you with a router that uses a SIM. That's a SIM. That means the router has a SIM kind of connection. So you don't need to use or buy a cable modem. So you invariably just have to connect your internet. So they are probably taking care of the internet connection for you. So you now have to connect from your cable from your Ethernet to your devices or your local network. So, but if in the case of most organizations that are big, beyond the home and office connection, invariably there will be a kind of a leased line from the internet service provider. They will give you a leased line that runs from something of that nature from their headquarters to your office or something. Then from there you can take it up to connecting to your internet cable or your cable from your internet port of your router to the cable modem, then connect your other cable from the Ethernet to your local devices. So, but pertaining to this cable, they are all called Ethernet cable. They are Ethernet technology. That's what they use. Ethernet technologies. That's what those cables are. There are various types of it. We have the coaxial, we have the straight through, we have the cross through. So they are all depending on the devices you are trying to connect. If you are trying to connect your home router to your switch, of course you will use the straight through cable. But if you are trying to connect two devices that are crossover cable. You use a crossover cable. Or if you want to connect two devices that are of different category, that means maybe a router and a switch, you will use your straight through. As you saw that we use the straight through for connecting the cable modem and the router because they are two different devices. But now you are trying to connect your cable modem to your cable splitter. That's another form of connection altogether. There is a type of cable that is called coaxial cable because this is a high kind of connection. The kind of internet connectivity that is required, the other cable that we mentioned can't function in that area. So that's why we use the internet coaxial cable. That's why we did that connection. So there are various cables for various connections. There are various cables for various connections. But that's for those who've been doing all this network engineering. Meanwhile, meanwhile, these days, those things will not will as time goes on, you know that if you now advance in your knowledge, you know that those things are not the way they are supposed to be. There is this kind of cable that is now used for most of the connection. So you don't have to now start differentiating between different types of cables again. Once you do, you install one type of cable, it can be able to do the functions and the whole thing of trying to selecting different types of cable that will suit that people. So one cable can do the configurations or can serve for the purpose of trying to identify different types of cable for connection. I don't know if that answers your question. Hello? Does that answer your
Yes,
question or I
yes,
got confused about your question? Right.
yes. You actually
So,
answered
but for those
my
that still,
question.
uh, okay. So that's it. Is there anybody else? Your hands is still up. Do you have more questions? Stephanie, your hands is still up. Do you still have more questions? All right. Stella. Stella, do you have a
Good evening,
question?
sir.
Good
Can you hear
evening.
me? Please, sir, can you explain that
Yeah, I can hear you.
RF again? I didn't really get it very well.
Hi, what?
Hello? Can you explain the RFC again?
Hello?
Hello?
Okay, request for comment.
Yeah.
Okay, it just simply means we are a collection of all the standards that have been developed in order to help to guide the internet communication. So this is where they are kept. They are called requests for comment. This is more like a document, a comprehensive document that have all the different standards that were created or that were adopted. So for the ease of reference, that is where they are kept. So this is where they are kept. Request for comment. So if anybody, if they develop any standard, they will go and put it in that document and say so time, put in many things, talk about what the standard is all about, where it holds, what it's all about. So that place where the documentary of used for all internet standards that have been developed from time past. Is that correct, Stella? Stella? Hello?
Yes, yes. Thank you. Yes.
Hello? Paula, can you hear me?
Yes, it's there. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can
I
hear
can
you.
hear you, sir. I can hear you.
Yes, it's clear.
Okay, okay. You is clear. All right, thank you. Is there any other person? We are almost any other concerns? Any other thing? All right, so I think I cannot see any hands raised up. So I still want to thank you all who have stayed despite the challenges that we have today. I know that this class is not as it normally used to be, but we had a lot of challenges today. But meanwhile, all to the best that we still have to continue on the next class. And let's see how far that we are going to be going on this journey. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your dedication. Thank you for walking through this journey together. God bless you all, and do have a nice rest and enjoy the remaining part of the weekend. See you on Thursday. Thank you. Uh, Bola, I think you cannot stop the recording because you're not an admin, but I just want to make you an admin so that you can be able to stop the recording for me. I've made you a co-host. Can you help to stop the recording so that it will be saved? And I'll share my slide for those of you based on the last class. I'll share my slide. Then by the next class, I will still share this one that we are entered on, and then the packet tracer as well. I will be sharing those ones. Anything for I'll be sharing it. So Bola, can you help to?
It's
You
not
said?
working yet. I can't stop it. It's not working
You
yet.
said?
I can't stop it.
It's
Now.
not
It's not
working.
working yet. Yes.
Okay, I have not made it a co-host. I thought I made it a co-host. Oh, why are you not assuming that? The class have ended for those that want to leave. We just want to end the recording.
Why can't you say that you cannot give me calls? It's not working.
But are you still on the?
Yes, me too.